Hi, welcome to another PlayBASIC blog. Today is the 23rd of December 2017. So I just wanted to wish all of the community, really, what's left of the community, a bit of a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks for hanging out sometimes. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for making things. Thanks for having a slight curiosity about PlayBASIC. Uh, it's good to know there's a few people out there who are desperately waiting for this stuff to happen. So last time we talked about the 1.65C revision, and we were at a position where we've got PlayBASIC basically running on the new runtime, except it was missing debugger, the connection between the two things. And that's what I've been working on the past couple of weeks, really. I've got it actually working now, and it seems to work a little bit better than it did before for some reason, which is always strange. What's not working at the moment is the stepping and tracing stuff. I don't have the current build on this computer. I'm not quite sure what build we're actually looking at here. I didn't bother to check, but so if you had a bunch of lines, B, C, just try and make some dud code for us to look at. 4 loop or something. So even though a loop here is useless, it doesn't really do anything constructive. For those who are not familiar, I hope the debugger in this actually works. It may not if it's an older version. If it's the older build of 1.65, which I think it might be. Bear with me anyway. So we'll just see if this is working in this build. We would hit F6 for full debug and F7 for partial debug. And F6, oh, no, typo, good. F6, what it does is it places, our application displays nothing, so we won't actually see anything on screen. Go to the debugger over here, and it's really a monitor. You can stop the program, and I hope it works in this version. You can step forward, see through our instructions there. We can step to the next instruction. So that's what I'm currently working on with the new integration with this version here. Even though it's a 1.65 build, it's using a combination of the new and the old runtime together. The current revision, which is like beta 18 or something like that, it actually has no legacy runtime in it at all. And the debugger here is hooked into the old method of how the whole thing works, and that's why it works. That's why stepping is working here. So I step through and the program will just run around. You'll notice that when we hit the next time, we don't jump back to the for next loop, because that's not actually executed beyond the first time. It's only run the first time. And trace is the other option there too. Step and trace are the same in that they allow us to move to the next line of code. You can't just move to the next operation. One will step into function calls and one won't. So one will only let you look at the current scope, and if there's any external calls, it will jump away and then come back. And when it comes back, it will stop at the next line. Because sometimes it's very frustrating trying to trace something through a program when it's doing, when you've got to trace through every function call. The debugging controls you can actually turn on or off. We won't go into that at the moment. We'll make a new video on those things. once it's all running the way it should be. So what's not working at the moment, if I just run it again, just so I can see something. Oh, stupid bloody computer. So what's not running is that it's not the new build, because the instruction set's different. Our line numbers aren't matching up with the source code here. So it's giving us kind of gobbledygook when we step forward. It won't do this at all. It will just kind of, you might see it run one instruction, then jump down to the sync and do all kinds of strange stuff. Even though those commands are not running, it's the two things aren't meshed up well enough at the moment to put out there in the wild. Once it is, it should pretty much run the same way as what it did before. The debug controls in general in our command set work. Hit the wrong project. Up here there's some stuff on debugging. You find it through sprinkled all over the place pretty much. Go to compiler, some directives there. These are compile time directives which are useful for including or excluding certain pieces of code. Got the debugger only has a couple of instructions that are user sort of instructions, which is break. You can CLS, which clears the terminal window, and the print to dump things out, just like normal print. But they go to the debugger's console, and trace is actually it lets us tell it which parts we want to trace and which parts we don't want to trace. Sometimes in a big program, you don't actually want it tracing all the way through every single bit of code. So you could do something like this. Yeah, I could come along here and say trace off. So now there's no, even if I compile this in debug mode, there's no debug inserted instructions in the program. So we won't get any, we can't really step through this code. Well, I hope so anyway. We'll see how we go. Right, I'm stepping through, I'm only getting to this sync command here, stopping on the loop, which is what we should expect. So I can turn debugging off in sections of the program. If I turn it on here, we'll turn it on, and then down here we'll turn it off. Run it again. Has kind of turned, oh, it popped itself to the front that time. Isn't that nice? So it allows us to step through those instructions. Okay, so the off state's actually occurring after that line. Because there's no function call, so we won't get any trace into or stepping over. We just make a mock-up function here, you know, test me A, B, C or something. We'll say result is the sum of the two things, A plus B. Test me, just pass A and B to it. Print this out here. It's called test me. So we run the program normally, we'll kind of get, are we syncing in that? Let 1 to 1000, test me. Oh. Clearing our screen, doing our loop, doing our sync. Just pull out those. Probably shouldn't be doing these videos in the current hybrid versions. Oh, well, actually, if you run this, you'll get 1000 prints. We'll just do 10 prints. Seems to be a bit more realistic. Yeah. 1,000 prints on screen are quite slow actually. Particularly on Windows 10, which is notoriously slow for text rendering. I don't know why. Alright, so hit F6 to run debug mode. Hit stop, and we'll just step through. See how it's the step has gone, regardless of it's hit this function call. We're in the function, doing its work, returning, coming out. If I use trace, we don't go to the function, we just step around it. But it's very handy for those kind of loops there. Unfortunately, we can't do things like hovering over variables in these versions. It is something that I would like to add. But again, the debugger's old. It probably needs to be replaced completely, which is more than likely on the cards. But first things first, we have to get all this stuff working. Once we get it working, then we can worry about what direction we update things in, or what order we update things in, because everything needs to be a bit of an update. Right, so we've got the PlayBASIC V1.65, and I've got that. It's working on the debugger stepping features in it at the moment. It is working, but the line numbering is not working properly, so there's something out of whack somewhere. I think it's probably a tabling issue, but it's hard to know actually. I have been looking for the problem for a couple of days. It's been just one of those little annoying things. So that's about our update of that. Once it's done, obviously it'll be on the server, and we'll be trying to press ahead and get some more of these things done. The other thing on here was actually looking at our game making idea. Just to remind people, not that anyone watches the blogs anyway, but just to remind people, we do want to make some blogs that are around, really have the idea of or look at building a game, at least a prototype from start to finish. And it's kind of open-ended when you say make a game, because that might mean anything. So here we're sort of looking for some ideas about what kind of game we might start this process with. And initially I was kind of joking around the idea of using Rygar, but it was a joke. It's kind of an in-joke thing. I think it would be fun to make, but don't really, but other people don't really see it that way. A lot of old arcades really, I like the idea of doing those, because it's something that as a user, as a viewer of the series, you can see the end result before it's made. You know where this thing is going, and that's a really key part of coding. Like, a lot of coding is not actually writing, it's actually how you design your elements to work together inside the program. While I was searching around for ideas for different types of games, it is rough and tumble here. I can't play it and capture it at the same time, so I'll put a capture of that, or a link in the description below here. It's on the forum anyway. It's a great looking game. Like, for an Amiga game, I think it's a mid-90s game. Fantastic. And I think some people have done a lot of great work and pulled out the artwork, so hey, could be a good one to do. That's about all I wanted to say. Just wanted to again thank you for listening. Hope you have a lot of fun over your Christmas time period, and have a great New Year's Eve, of course. Starting to feel like there's a bit of momentum building back in my routine, that I can actually get more and more done. It's unfortunate we keep running into some bugs like the line number problem, but that'll be solved. So thanks for watching, or thanks for listening really, and have a great Christmas and New Year's, and I'll see you in 2018. Bye.